Good morning, class. So what we're going to do today is we are going to go over what's called Selenium. It's a module that allows us to control a web browser. The reason we're not continuing with Beautiful Soup is that today this involves installing a couple things and making sure things are working. So it may be longer than a 10-minute video. And on block days, I can give you a slightly longer video. So that's why we're doing it today. We'll get back to Beautiful Soup probably Friday, but today and tomorrow, today and Thursday. No, we'll get back to it maybe at the beginning of next week. But right now, I want to go over how to control your web browser. The difference between controlling a web browser and using Beautiful Soup is Beautiful Soup allows you to download things in the background. Whereas with Selenium and controlling a web browser, you actually control the web browser. So this would be useful if when you want to log in your computer, you want to open Amazon and YouTube and go to a specific video and have it start playing every time you log in, or that sort of thing. Whereas Beautiful Soup is, once I log in, I wanted to check the weather and display in my console, in my shell here, the weather. So that's the difference. So what we're going to do first, the very first thing we need to do is import Selenium. So we're going to go to command prompt, pip install selenium. So that's exactly how you spell it. And then I already have it installed because I ran through it this morning, but it'll install here. Next thing we need to do is we need to open Firefox. And we need to make sure this is totally updated, because otherwise the executables I've given you won't work. So we go here to these three lines, we go over to help, about Firefox, and it will then do up to date, blah, blah, blah. It'll download and get you up to date. It may then say click to restart Firefox. Obviously do that, but you want to make sure Firefox is up to date, because originally this Selenium driver only worked with Firefox, and I think they've updated it now to work with Chrome. So what we're also going to do, we're going to open a new window, and the same thing, we're going to go to the three lines up here, go to help, about Google Chrome. It will then make sure your version is up to date. So make sure it's version 81 dot something. And Firefox has to be this '75. Okay, so then we're going to close those. So once you have that all done, this is what you need to do. In the student, is it? Yeah. So in the student resources folder, these 4 files are new. These 2 are zip files, and all they contain are these 2. So if you're downloading it from OneDrive, I mean, they're not that big. It's like 11 megs total to download both of them. If you want to download just those 2, you're welcome to. If you want to download just those 2 and then extract the file, that's fine, I don't care. But what you need to do is you need to copy these 2. Copy. And then we're going to navigate all the way to our Python 3832 or Python 3732 folder. So again, this PC, local disk, users, your name, app data. This app data is a hidden folder, so you need to make sure that you can see hidden folders, and you do that by going to View, Options, Change, View, Show Hidden Files, Folders, and Drives. So again, that's View. You go to Options and you change Folder and Search Options. Click the View tab, Show Hidden Files, Folders, and Drives. Once you do that, then you go to Local, Programs, Python, Python 3832. And then you paste these 2 in here. Okay. This gecko driver log is a log of what happens when you control Firefox, and this debug log, I believe, is the Chrome driver executable. So once you have those, Selenium, update the two, that once you've done those 5 things, it should work. So then what we're going to do is you then from Selenium import web driver. And if you don't get an error, awesome. That means Selenium has been properly installed. That means Selenium has been properly installed. So if you don't get an error with this line, you've pip installed correctly. Then what we're going to do is we're going to go browser equals webdriver dot firefox. So if you see this pop up, and now Firefox pops up, notice you have this sort of weird color warning label thing up here. That means it's being remotely controlled. And we have 0 errors. Now sometimes what'll happen is you'll see, you'll see this pop up. This will pop up. And then you get an error. That error typically means you don't have the correct version of these web drivers. But these are I downloaded these this morning, so yeah, you can see 739, 744. So you can see that these are the newest ones. So hopefully that makes sense. So you guys are going to use those two. So now we can also go browser 2 equals web driver dot. And this was really cool that they added this. And again, notice Chrome is being controlled by automated test software. Pretty cool. So now we have 2 remotely controlled browsers. Now the first thing you guys are going to ask, well, how do I get to a website? Very easy. We go browser dot get, and in here has to be the full URL. You can't just type youtube.com because you'll get this error, not a valid URL. So what you want to do, you do https://, and now what'll happen, let's go into YouTube. It's thinking, boom. We'll do the same thing here, web browser 2. So this is how you would do something like once you've logged in, you may have to log in. I don't know if the automated test, if the automation of this allows you to log in. Like if I were just to open another YouTube bar, go youtube.com, I'm signed in as soon as it loads. So I have all my recommended videos. I'm logged in up here, but I opened it with Chrome or with Python. I'm not signed in. So we'll get into how to do that in just a moment. So that is how you control a web browser. How long has this video been going for? 9 minutes. Okay. Next thing we're going to do, well, is how do I do anything with the website? Yeah, it's cool that I can get to YouTube or Amazon, but how do I then do anything? Very good question. So this goes back to us having to find, this goes back to what we learned about HTML. And so depending on what we want to do with our code, let's say we just want to watch the very first video that YouTube recommends for us. We're going to right click and we're going to inspect. Now this element, there's a lot of things here we could click on in order to get us to do that. In order for us to select this, we could click on the picture, we click here, we can't click there, but we click on the name or this picture. And so where is, here it is. Yep, there's that. And then how do we get, ID, thumbnail class. See, there's a lot of stuff in here you can find to click on. Div contents. Okay, so the reason I'm trying to find one is that in here, so this is all how to install everything, and we've already gone over that. We can find things with using all of this. So we can find an HTML object by its class name, CSS selector, ID, link text, partial link text, name, or tag name. So that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 ways to find something in an HTML. And each one of these, certain things may have an ID but no name or a tag name, or yeah, they may only have a couple of these. So just because if you're looking for class name and you go here and you're like, oh, I can't find the class name, doesn't matter, because odds are something here has a either class name, CSS selector, ID, partial link text, name, or tag name. So let's try CSS selector. So we are going to which thing do we want? So we right click this. We'll go to copy. Does it have a CSS selector? It does. Let's go to our code. Let's just see what that looks like. Video title link. Okay, so what we're going to do is we're now going to go by CSS selector. And we're on Chrome right now. It doesn't matter. Yeah, we're in Chrome. So this has to be a string. Cool, it found it. So it has now found this right here. What you can do is you can find elements, and what this will do is gives you a list of everything that has this. So 66 lines. That's because there's a lot of videos in here, and one, it dynamically loads, so I don't know if, yeah, I don't know if it reads it before it loads, if this is all written in here prior to it loading on screen. I don't know, but so found a bunch of them, but hopefully this is the first one, because if you do find element by CSS selector, it is the first element. So we did find that. So then what can we do next? Well, you can find information. So you can find tag name, attribute name. So let's do a couple of these things. So we're gonna go video equals video dot, what are some of these? Tag underscore name. A, awesome. Get attribute. Find value for elements, name attribute. go. So that is the one we want. So you can make sure that the element we find is what we want. We want 4 hours of ambient music to study. Well, perfect. That's exactly what we want. We can, you can also clear information. So when we're searching for something, if you want to make sure that the search bar is cleared, you can use that. You can see if this element is visible, if it's not, if it's enabled. Input elements, so can I actually type something in? Is it selected? Checkbox or radio buttons. So that is like a checkbox on a website. Is this checkbox checked or is it not? And then location. This gives you the X and Y location. So if you still aren't 100% sure, video.location, this X 144, Y 313, 313, 313, 312. Gosh, so that is 144 pixels in. 312. Now let's see, do you think, why is this not scrolling? Probably because I have so many things going. Okay, let's see if it changed. Okay, I'm gonna stop having Firefox be controlled. Maybe that's slowing my computer down a little bit. Probably the fact that I'm recording a video and I have like 30 tabs open. Not really 30, it's more like 10. What happened? So yeah, it did change, although it should have changed more than that, but regardless, we now know. Oh, because it reformatted everything. Okay, well that's reloading. We now know this video is the correct thing. What if we want to click on it? Well, we can also do, I'm going to get back to this. This is how you should guys code, but I'm going to get back to that. All you do is once you find it, you do the name. So this would be video.click. So we're going to go video.click. Oh, I refreshed the page. Oh, well, it's still the first one, so for best TV bloopers of the decade. So again, this is a really good way to figure out what you are looking at and what you're about to click. So we're gonna go video.click. And boom.
You know, it's been 15 years. You remembered everything.
I was sure you wouldn't be there. What?
So once you have a video going, you could go, well, what if I wanted to pause? You right click. No thanks. Here we go. Class, the play button. Okay, so what we're going to do is we are going to copy, and again, we can copy outer HTML, JS, all that stuff. We're going to go selector, jump back to our code, button equals, paste it into here, and we did not get an error, so that's awesome. And if we do play underscore video, play video dot text, Oh, it's a play button. There shouldn't be any text because it's a play button. So then we're gonna go play button dot click.
Not so pale.
You're on it.
Today's snow is crippling much of the Washington lowlands.
DD mega.
That's pretty funny. So that is how you click on stuff. So we're not going to do filling out and submitting forms. How much time do we have? Yeah, 20 minutes. This is a long enough video. So what I want you guys to do, and for your assignment, there'll be write a code that opens up Amazon. It cannot be YouTube. You gotta do something. You can't just copy the code that I've written from the video. You need to go on Amazon and, oh, one thing I need to show you guys too is to send keys. So instead of using, excuse me, instead of using click, you send keys. So, and then you type in what you want to send. So what you would do, and I'm not going to do this for you because it's part of your assignment. What you would do is you would find the search bar, make sure that your code can find the search bar, and then you send the keys. And then you use submit. And it will search for those things. So what I want you guys to do is to write code that opens Amazon, searches for something, asks the user what they want to search for. So what you can do in your code is here, instead of having a string, you can have a variable. So you can have your code open up Amazon, ask the user what do you want to search for, and then boom, send it in there. You guys don't need to do special keys, not yet. We're going to go over that tomorrow. And all it is keys dot something. So if you want to look into that, but we're going to finish up this tomorrow because again, this is a long enough video and you guys have a long enough assignment. So if you guys have any questions, my office hours are today from 10 to 11. I'll send out a link to everyone and you guys can just click it, join it. I might have some networking kids in there, so I'll just have to split up the time a little bit. Tell you to come back in 15 minutes or whatever. But regardless, that is today's lesson. I hope you guys are doing well. If you guys have any questions, either message me or again, wait for 10 o'clock for my virtual office hours. On that, have a good day.